Hello and welcome to another 2023 training camp recap. This training camp is day 7. That marks a full week of practices in the terms of the training camp. Not actually a full week. It's more than that because they started on Tuesday, but they had the breaks in between. So today marks a full week of that. Alex was there. I was not. So I'm just going to sit here and listen to him while he talks the whole time. Alex, go ahead. No, I'm just kidding. But he is going to talk for most of this video and kind of lead the way here as I was seeing the reports from him on the Giant Take Twitter. So there was that, and we were only able to film one-on-ones today. So that was, the deal there. But let's get into it. So first of all, we had Darnay Holmes, the first player on the field today. Like always, Leonard Williams, Paris Campbell, and Jack Anderson did not practice. Most likely maintenance days for those guys. And then we have the starting lineups for offense and defense: Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, Andrew Thomas, Josh Zudu, JMS, Ben Bredesen, Evan Neal, Darren Waller, Darius Slayton, Cole Beasley, and Isaiah Hodgins. Alex, do you want to break it down now or I guess you could break it down now.
Yeah, so I'll go through. So the main change here on offense, we talked about, you mentioned Paris Campbell was out today for maintenance. So Cole Beasley took his spot as the starting slot receiver. And then on the O-line, we saw Ben Bredesen come in for Mark Glowinski, which was very interesting. At right guard, Glowinski worked with the second team pretty much all practice today. So that was something to keep an eye on. I know Bobby Skinner, who I was sitting, right next to from Talking Giants, was very intrigued about that because it was not something he was expecting, something that he was hoping for, but not exactly expecting that the Giants would bench Glowinski because of, he does have one of the larger contracts in terms of the offensive linemen that are on the team. I believe just around $6 million a year, which isn't a lot of money, but a lot for this offensive line besides Andrew Thomas, who obviously just got his huge deal. So yeah, that's the offense there. And then I'll read along the defense. We had Dexter Lawrence, Nacho, no Leonard Williams today. So he was their replacement, his replacement, excuse me. Thibodeau, Ojulari, Okereke, Beavers, Jackson, Holmes in the slot instead of Cordell Flott. And then, like usual, Banks, Pinnock, and McKinney. So just Darnay Holmes coming in at the slot spot and Nacho coming in for Leonard Williams. So that's the starting lineups. Not a lot of changes, I guess, more than usual, but not because most of them are from injury purposes or players that were not practicing. So that's just something to keep in mind. And then we had one-on-ones today. No pads or no full pads, so no O-line, D-line, but we did have wide receiver versus DB, which was a lot of fun right near me. So I was able to get a whole bunch of clips of that. I'd say the big winners in general were the receivers. Obviously, it's a drill that's, that tends to heavily favor receivers, but I just listed a few winners here that I remembered from practice and just kind of looking over some of the clips. From the wide receivers, I thought Jamison Crowder had a really good day in those drills. Jaden Mickens was very good. Colin Johnson had an extraordinary catch against Deontay Banks. And then from corners, just wanted to shout out a couple of guys. Jamon Green was able to successfully defend Darren Waller. I think the first time we've seen Darren Waller have an incompletion in one-on-ones. Jamon Green was able to swat that one away. And then Trey Hawkins, again, had a pretty good day. Got beat, I believe, once. I want to say it was, who was it now? I'm forgetting now. Might have been Shep, who kind of beat him on a outside route. And then he got called for holding. The ref threw the flag. So, yeah, besides that, though, those two guys did pretty good in the secondary. And, it was competitive. It was really a lot of hustle and tussle. And I think overall it was a fun period. Both the nickel corners certainly struggled. What are their names? Holmes and Flott, not only in one-on-ones, but also in 11-on-11s. Josh, I'll let you take it from here. Otherwise, you're not going to talk the whole episode.
I don't really need to talk because you kind of saw all of this, but I'll say it, and then, you can continue with it. Jalin Hyatt had a good day today. What's new? 2 50-plus yard touchdowns from Daniel Jones, one against Darnay Holmes and Xavier McKinney, both on him, and then the other against Trey Hawkins. You saw probably one of them on the Giants' social media's accounts. I can also clip it in here right now in the video while I'm talking about it, but Alex, I'm literally just going to send it right back to you for the rest of the points, and you can even talk about the Hyatt stuff because honestly, you were there, so it's more better to get the front perspective from you.
Yeah, the Hyatt plays. I mean, you saw how quick he was. Like in person, when you're sitting there, he burst. It felt like past Holmes and McKinney, beat them to the end zone. And you got to give Jones credit. He placed those passes perfectly, 50-yard dots to Jalin Hyatt both times. Really, really impressive stuff. And then also in 11 on 11, there was a deep throw to Darren Waller, like a 40, 50-yard throw from Daniel Jones, and Micah McFadden actually broke it up at the last second. He came almost out of nowhere. It looked like he was a good 5-10 yards behind Darren Waller, and he was able to recover and get him. So a really impressive play from McFadden, who I think got a lot more snaps today than Darian Beavers did. Just from the eye test, I don't have the exact numbers, but from what I remember seeing, that was generally what happened, I think. And then we saw in the DB corner room, we saw a lot of Adoree Jackson in the slot once again with Hawkins and Banks on the outside. Like I mentioned earlier, the slot guys have been struggling, right? Darnay Holmes has struggled mightily. Cordell Flott has struggled quite a bit. And I always kind of thought Cordell Flott might be a better player if he can kind of bulk up a little bit on the outside. Doesn't really seem like the ideal slot corner because he's got that height. He's 6'1", I believe, so he could potentially play on the outside, but he is so skinny at 175. So I'm interested to see what they decide to do with Flott going forward. Holmes is definitely a slot guy, but certainly has struggled this camp, and I know a lot of people are coming for his head on Giants social media. All I'll say is it's definitely tough out there. He's getting assigned to Darren Waller quite a bit. And, it's training camp. You got to give him some time, see how he does in preseason. And, hopefully he improves his play going forward. We know he's a hard worker. He's, made big plays for us in the past. So I would just say, let's go a little bit easy on Darnay Holmes. Some of the clips we're posting, I know people are about to chop his head off and saying he should, never play football again. Like, let's calm down here. I think he's still got something in him as a player, as an NFL football player. So I don't want to, write him off just yet. And then Daniel Jones had a good day. He went 16 for 21 in team drills, had those 2 bombs for Jalin Hyatt. Missed on a couple of throws. There was a couple throws he was a little bit behind on. Not the biggest deal in the world, just a lot of timing issues that we saw. There was one more snap issue with JMS, so they practiced more snaps after practice. He got in more work with Jamison Crowder and Cole Beasley after practice as well with the receivers. So overall, Daniel Jones, he was good today. He's working on the timing. He's working on the snap. So everything's going smoothly, I think, so far for him and this offense, who really look explosive this training camp.
Yeah, and with that being said, that'll do it for our Day 7 recap of training camp. I will be there along with Alex tomorrow, so I will be able to talk a little bit more in this recap and know my stuff then, because I will be there live to see it along with Alex. So we thank you so much for watching this training camp recap. Hit that subscribe button down below and go that way to find all of our social channels, especially Twitter, the Giant Take Pod. You're going to want to find those live tweets during training camp tomorrow. And hopefully on Saturday, I'm hoping to go then too if I'm able to get tickets. But anyway, drop a like too. Let us know in the comments what you thought of today. And we will see you next time for another training camp recap tomorrow. Peace.